Today on the Bandrew Says podcast, I am going to be sharing proof with you on why you cannot trust reviews on Amazon. So go ahead and stick around. Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to episode 198 of the BSP. My name is Bandrew. This is what I says. If you want different topics so you can skip around and save some time, timestamps in the show notes. And if you want a different version of the show, audio or video, you can find that at bandrewsays.com. You cannot trust reviews on Amazon. And before we dive into this, I do want to let you know that this is still somewhat developing. I have contacted a few more companies asking for comment on this, but I haven't heard back as of the time of recording this. So if I receive any responses from them, I will share that with you so you can be as informed as possible. This all starts a few weeks ago on the Podcastage Discord, where somebody shared a picture of a postcard. Doesn't seem evil, doesn't seem nefarious at all, right? Well, the postcard reads as follows. Merry Christmas! Top 100 respectful guests of Synco D2 mic. If you could share 5 stars review on detail page, Comica shotgun microphone will be free to you. Price over $75. Or you can get a $40 refund back. Attached your order ID and review screenshot to crystal@momanplay.com for gift/refund. Any problem with D2 microphone, please let me help you. Thank you so much. Now, I have a lot of problems with this postcard because it is bribing people to give your product a 5-star review. I was so bothered by it and so angry about it that I tweeted about it, and I said, if a company bribes people to give you 5-star ratings on Amazon, that immediately invalidates every single review for your product on the site. This is terrible. #Synco and #Comica. After having this tweet out there for a little bit, I received a DM from Synco who I just followed, assuming that they would want to DM me. They said, "Hi, have just saw your tweet. We are sorry that this bad experience happened to your friends and other customers. Amazon Store is our official dealer website, and its actions or behaviors actually have nothing to do with the brand itself. Currently, we are trying to deal with this issue. Sorry again." So based on that DM, it certainly sounds like Synco and Moman Play have no real relationship. They don't have anybody working at both companies. They are completely separate entities, and Moman Play is conducting this behavior of their own volition without any direction from the companies and the products that they are distributing. So the first thing I did was head over to momanplay.com. That is the domain for the email that was on the postcard saying send your screenshot and review to blankety-blank at momanplay.com. I headed over there and I noticed that they sell Synco, Feel World Master, Moman, Jiyun, Feel World, and Comica. The reason I headed over there was to see if there was any disclosure that they had a parent company or that they were the owners of these brands that they were selling. I didn't see that. So the next step was I headed over to Amazon.com to look at what kind of sellers there were for the Synco Mic D2 to see if it was possible that this guy who got the postcard bought from anybody other than Moman Play. When I looked up the Synco Mic D2, I saw that there was only one seller on Amazon, and that was Videosnet. But when you click on Videosnet's seller profile, it pops up a big Moman logo, and that just adds on top of the fact that the postcard had a Moman Play domain email address. So it's very clear that Moman Plays is the company or the distributor that this guy bought the microphone from, and that is who also sent the postcard to them, offering them money or a free microphone to give their product a 5-star review. Next, because I wasn't able to find a disclosure of Moman Play's parent company or a disclosure that they own the brands that they are selling, I went ahead and dug a little bit deeper, meaning I went to Synco's Facebook page. And on Synco's Facebook page, they list in their About section that their company name is Guangzhou Zhiying Technology Company Limited. And just to verify that this was correct information, I pulled up one of their manuals and saw this exact same company on the last page at the very bottom. So what did I do with that information? I just dropped that name into Google, and very quickly, I was able to locate some FCC filings for some new microphones and wireless transmitters that they were releasing. As soon as I pulled up the FCC filing and looked at the header information for the application, red flags started going off because the submitter of the FCC filing is listed as the product manager for both of the wireless microphones that Synco is applying for, but the contact information for this product manager is lucas@momanplay.com. And this can mean one of a few things in my opinion. First off, it means that Moman Play and Synco are directly related. One of those company owns the other, or they have a very close business relationship where Moman Play actually sends over product managers to Synco to develop products. Secondly, they could have just seriously screwed up a governmental form, which I don't think you would do. When you are submitting applications to the government, you ensure that 100% of the information is correct. Or third, they lied on the governmental form. Those are the three options that I see. So I took a screenshot of this header information and sent it to Synco, asking for some explanation for it, and they responded with, "Thanks for the information. We have just checked and found that Lucas Liu is the product manager in Moman Play. He recently came to Synco discussing the matter of purchasing new products. Once he finished the business trip here, we will inform him to change the address. We sincerely appreciate your feedback. Please feel free to contact us if you still have any questions." Therefore, based on this DM from Synco, they are stating with absolute certainty that Lucas Liu is a product manager at Moman Play. That's what they are saying. That is a fact in their book. Let us go back to the FCC filing and look at the cover letter. I don't want to read the entire cover letter, but I do want to read the signature. Sincerely, Lucas Liu, title, product manager, company, Guangzhou Zhiying Technology Co., Limited. If that company name sounds familiar to you, that is the exact same company that was listed on Synco's Facebook page, as well as at the bottom of their manuals. So, that leads me to believe that either Moman Play is one of the most incompetent dealers, one of the most incompetent distributors out there by screwing up their own title and the company that they work for on governmental forms to the FCC, or Synco is just lying to me. And I want to share one last DM from Synco because it just cracks me up. They responded with, "After our investigation, bribing customers for a 5-star review is indeed an action taken by Moman Play. More than that, not only does it target at Synco, but also targets at other brands. We are truly sorry for this issue and we strongly condemned its action. We have already forbidden Moman Play to carry out any activities in the official name of Synco." And the reason that I find this so funny and interesting is, first off, Synco just sold out everybody. I love that. Thank you, Synco. But secondly, that Synco did their own research. They confirmed that, yes, Moman Play is paying for 5-star reviews, but they are not just doing it for Synco. Moman Play is paying for 5-star reviews for multiple brands. This just confirms the concern that I had, where it is not just one brand paying for 5-star reviews, it is much more widespread. Now, before I go on a rant, in summary, I don't think that I have absolute 199% proof that Synco and Moman Play are the same company, or that Synco directed Moman Play to send out these postcards bribing people to give their microphone a 5-star rating, but based on the information I found and based on the inconsistencies between that information and what I heard from Synco in DMs, I am certainly leaning towards Synco being aware of this behavior and trying to cover their tracks. That could just be my conspiratorial brain, but that's what I am drawing the conclusion to. So why is this behavior wrong and unethical? Because they are bribing people to write a positive review regardless of what that consumer's experience with that product was. And as I mentioned in the tweet, that immediately invalidates all reviews on those product listings on Amazon and pretty much on any website, because I can guarantee you if a company is shady enough to conduct this behavior through Amazon, they are going to conduct this behavior through other websites as well. And because these consumers likely don't have any knowledge of FTC disclosure law, that means we have no way of telling if a review is actually positive or if it's only positive because they were paid to do it. I actually saw one of these reviews change. It was a relatively negative review saying, "This is one of the noisiest microphones I have ever used," and it had a rating of maybe 2 or 3 stars. And then it said, edit. They upgraded it to 5 stars and said, well, now it's, I use noise removal on other microphones too, so it's a 5-star for me. 5-star for me, even though it's the noisiest microphone I've ever used. I have to use noise removal in other situations too, so 5 stars. Now, maybe this person is just an idiot. No offense to that person if you're watching this, but you seem like an idiot. But more than likely, they received a postcard from Moman Play, maybe Synco, saying, hey, if you give us a 5-star rating, we will give you a $40 refund or a free microphone, and they jumped at that opportunity. And this type of behavior and manipulation of the system leads to the average consumer who only relies on the star rating on Amazon getting an incorrect idea of how good this product is, meaning they are much more likely to buy a product that is absolute crap just because a few people wanted to get some money back or get a free product. But Bandrew, isn't this the same thing as reviewers on YouTube getting free stuff to review? Well, no, it's not completely. First up, I like to think that reviewers on YouTube and reviewers in general hold themselves to a higher level of journalistic integrity than an average consumer who is writing a review in the Amazon review system. Additionally, reviewers on YouTube are much more likely to be aware of FTC law and disclosure regulation, meaning if they have a relationship with a company, if the company sends them something, if they get paid for a review, they know, or they are much more likely to know, that they have to disclose that in the video and make it abundantly clear that this is an ad or that this product was provided for that review. Secondly, reviewers are not told what the outcome of a review has to be prior to receiving that device. At least no good reviewers are going to accept terms that say, it has to be a positive review if we send this to you. If you have any kind of ethics, you will tell that company to get lost, you will screenshot that email, and publicly shame them on the internet. That is the proper course of action if you are a reviewer and you receive an email trying to pressure you to give a positive review to a product before you've ever used it. To tie this back to the Amazon review stuff, if Moman Play's postcards had said, we will pay you $40 or send you a free microphone to review the microphone that you have already bought, I still wouldn't like it, but at least they would not be dictating what the review outcome has to be. They would just be saying, you bought it, leave a review, and we will compensate you for that review. I still really wouldn't like it, but it would at least be an improvement over what they actually did say. They actually told people, leave us a 5-star rating, make it the most positive review that it can be, and then we'll give you money. I think it would be an improvement. And third, I do not deny that there are likely reviewers on YouTube that accept payment and direction on what a review can say and what the conclusion will be, but that's why it's important to find the reviewers that do actually disclose all the relationships that they have with these companies. Now, I'll admit, I probably take this a step too far because on Podcastage.com, I have a website that lists every single relationship and transaction that I have had with a company in terms of getting a discount on a piece of audio gear or receiving a free piece of audio gear. But on top of that, I also list my disclaimer that I provide to companies prior to receiving anything. I list that publicly on my business contact page on Podcastage.com. And the reason that I do that is extremely transparent, and I would appreciate if more people did that. I like the idea of knowing what was given to you for free, what was bought at a discount, what do you tell these companies prior to accepting anything, and that would allow me as a consumer to know if I can trust a certain reviewer. And with all of that information, yes, it might be a bit overkill and doing a little bit more than the FTC requires, but I think that is being hyper transparent and allowing people to make the most informed decision about me as a reviewer and my impartial approach to it as they can. And I think that's how you develop a good level of trust with your audience. You need to be open. People need to know, what relationships do you have with these companies? So to summarize all of this, Moman has invalidated every single review on a Synco, FeelWorld, Moman, FeelWorld Master, and Comica page on Amazon, and in my opinion, pretty much anywhere else that product is sold. You are not able to trust any of those reviews because they are likely paid off, or they could likely be paid off based on these postcards that they sent out. So do not trust Amazon reviews as a sole source of information prior to making a purchase. Go ahead, check YouTube, check Google, search as many places as you can, and get as many different opinions as you can. And also, if you see a product being sold by Moman Play, do not trust a single one of the reviews. If I can take a second and provide my advice to the companies that Moman Play distributes for, let me go ahead and read them to you. Publicly state that you are severing ties with Moman Play, explain why, contact Amazon, and have all reviews that are currently on your product page removed and find a new distributor. And the reason that I am suggesting this is by doing nothing other than saying, I condemn this behavior, I condemn it, I'm taking actions, and doing nothing else, you certainly seem complacent in that unfair advantage that you received. It seems that even though you were cheating, you're going to accept the benefits of that cheating. That's my take on it. That's my advice for you. In conclusion, in the actual conclusion, do not trust Amazon reviews. Do not trust Moman Play reviews. Do not trust any reviews on these companies' products because it is very clear that they are willing to manipulate the system to get an unfair advantage. There you have it. That is it for the news, and that is the very first time that I think I have actually created news. I have done research into the news and broken a story. I don't even think this is breaking a story. I've shared some information. That's what I have done, and not just shared what other people, actual journalists, have done. Let's jump to what you had to say. First comment comes from Candon Muniz. You know what I'd like to see in 2020? Headphone reviews. I know that requires a new mic setup to test out the headphones, but your input on headphones would be invaluable. Why? I think the majority of podcasters are mixing/mastering on headphones. Therefore, it would help to have completely unbiased reviews on which headphones would work best for podcasters. Just my 2 cents. Candon, thank you very much for the comment. In the past, I actually have dived into headphone reviews a little bit, but I don't think I will be doing much of that in the future, short of saying, I like this headphone on this podcast. The reason being, I really like microphone and interface reviews and stuff like that because I am able to accurately record and provide a demonstration to the viewer of what those devices sound like. Then I can share my opinion and they can agree or disagree with me. With headphones, that is extremely difficult to do, meaning you would be relying solely on my preference to what I like in headphones, because I don't think recording a set of headphones on a box with 2 microphones is really an accurate representation of what those headphones sound like. So because of that, I likely won't be doing any fully fledged headphone reviews. It's just not a path I want to go down. I don't have an amazing set of ears like some headphone reviewers who can hear a minute difference in the change of a DAC or an amp. I can hear some differences, but they are more drastic changes. If you want really good headphone reviews, go check out Metal571. He makes incredible headphone reviews. He's currently on a break, but he has a back catalog of amazing stuff to check out. Listen to him. He won't steer you wrong. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate. Next comment comes from Chaz. He says, Happy New Year, Bandrew. I feel like you've succeeded beyond the goals you set for yourself this year, and I am looking forward to seeing what's next for BSP and Podcastage. Thank you for all that you do, for featuring my voice submissions in previous episodes, and for answering my questions. That was definitely a highlight of my year. Alan, you are hilarious. Thank you for that image, as I'm sure it hits home for Bandrew. It hits somewhere. Not home, though. P.S. Love the feature voice actor for the outro of the episode. Don't be surprised if I record one myself and send it to you out of random with the hope of hearing it in a future episode. Chaz, thank you very much for that. I appreciate sending in all of the voice submissions. You always sound great, and it's so much fun hearing people's voices as opposed to just reading them in my own voice. It breaks up the monotony, and you don't have to listen to this harsh, shrill instrument, if we can even call it that. This instrument of war that is in my throat. That sounded sexual in some kind of way. I appreciate so damn much. And go ahead and send that in. I'm sure Alan won't be annoyed at all that I am copying his idea of, of having someone record the outro. Alan. Sound speeds. Next comment comes from Alexander. He says, maybe 2020 is the year you should start a brand sticker collection. Alexander, you may be onto something. I actually think this would be an amazing idea because the hypocrisy of it would just crack me up, and I guarantee you people wouldn't get the joke, and they would just rage at me in the comments, saying, oh, you hate stickers, now you're making them? What, are we supposed to advertise for you? Ah! I would happily pay $100 to make that joke happen. That would be hilarious. Fiverr, here I come. That should be a video. I hire Fiverr artists to make stickers for me so I can force my audience to advertise for me and pay me to do it. That will be the video. Clickbaity enough? Next comment comes from Johnny Walker. He says, I'm hoping for more budget mic reviews next year. Johnny, thank you very much for the email. To be honest, I thought I had a decent amount of budget microphones last year. I think you might be sorely disappointed because there are going to be a lot of higher-end microphones this year because I have acquired them over 2+ years and just been too scared to review them. So those are going to be coming out, and I am expecting a lot of hate. Oh, you're reviewing so many expensive mics. Where are the budget mics? I will still do some budget mics, but to be completely honest with you, I am really sick and tired of the same microphone just being rebranded and then getting 50 or 100 comments saying, hey, review this no-name brand that you can find on this one website for $5. The reason being, I don't know. I have a conspiratorial brain. I don't know if that person leaving the comment is actually somebody interested in it or if it's guerrilla marketing by that company trying to convince me to buy it. Oh, look, we got 100 comments asking me to review XYZ microphone for $5 off AliExpress. I don't know if that's what's happening or not, but I am really sick of the low quality assurance microphones that cost $5. I'm sorry. I will do more budget stuff, but likely not that stuff that can be bought off AliExpress. Next comment comes from Hades Stamps. 2019 a failure? You got 100,000 subscribers, which most don't even come close to before giving up. You found a fix for your electric guitars, you upgraded your interface, and I found you! Hades, I appreciate. Thank you very much for the comment. To be clear with last week's episode, I am not saying that 2019 was an actual failure. I feel like it was a huge success for me. I found so much out about myself. I improved my production quality, and as you mentioned, I solved a lot of problems. But when we look at it strictly on here are your New Year's resolutions, did you hit any of them? No. I failed every single one of my New Year's resolutions, and I am incredibly happy with that because those resolutions, they were dumb to begin with. They were stupid, unreasonable, and they weren't going to help me accomplish anything or get towards a goal that I wanted to get to. So although I failed my New Year's resolutions, I think that last year was an incredible success for me. So thank you for saying that. And I wanted to clarify, I don't think I'm a failure. I think I did really well last year. Thank you very much for that. Now let's jump to my favorite part of the show, the Ask Bandrew segment. All right, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and head over to askbandrew.com. There are directions on how to send an email, send a voice submission, send a video, any of that stuff. I love getting the voice and video because I don't have to read. I suck at it. I am painful at reading, at least painful for you. So go ahead and send those in if you want to. First email comes from Tim, the mic fail finder. Tim. This is titled Mic Design Fail. He says, "Hi, Bandrew. I found something a little different for you this week. It's a combination wireless mic, Bluetooth speaker, karaoke microphone, recording device. I'm totally at a loss for words. Cheers, Tim, the mic fail finder." Tim, this microphone is absolutely insane. First off, I don't think it's necessarily the best idea to have a speaker right on a microphone, unless the microphone is not being amplified through the speaker, but then you're getting all the sound, all of the song bleeding right into the microphone. That's a terrible idea. But when you look at the actual design of this thing, it is one of the ugliest things I have ever seen. It looks as though it is some kind of water bottle with a microphone grill on top of it. It is a golden shaft with holes poked in the side of it. And not only does it look like a water bottle with a microphone grill on top, I could say it could potentially look like some kind of light, a fleshy light that is used for adult pleasure, male adult pleasure. I'll say that. Terrible microphone design, terrible product, but Tim, thank you for finding this. I appreciate it so damn much. This is a Wish.com microphone, so you know it's good. You know it's good. What a legend. All right, let's jump to a voice submission from Pablo. Take it away, Pablo.
Hey Bandrew, my name is Pablo and I'm from Argentina. It would be nice if you can make a video with basic tips on how to edit audio. You always talk about denoisers, de-essers, and I'm hesitant to apply those plugins as I don't have any idea of what I'm doing. By the way, I'm recording this with a Blue Snowball Ice, which I know is your favorite mic. Happy holidays.
Pablo from Argentina, I appreciate so damn much. Greetings from the United States, and thank you for the voice submission. As far as making standalone videos on how to use certain plugins, that is something that I absolutely want to do in 2020, and I do plan on doing that in 2020. I do have a very short and brief rundown of how I process my podcast audio. It has changed quite drastically since then, but I walk through all of the plugins that I had on the signal chain, and I have the settings up so you can see how I was using them. So maybe that will help in the interim until I actually get around to making full videos walking through how you should process your spoken word recording through a denoise, through a deplosive, through a de-esser, and all of these things. Pablo, thank you very much for the voice submission. Thank you very much for just being amazing. I appreciate. I almost burped in the middle of that. That would have been amazing. Next voice submission comes from Ivan. Take it away, good sir.
For live streaming spoken word, where in your opinion does the law of diminishing returns come into play for condenser and dynamic microphones? So for instance, do condenser microphones only get marginally better after a $150 price point? And the same question on dynamic microphone side. Does the price point of $100 kind of signify the limit of how much price to performance you're really going to get, for instance, out of the Shure SM58, or does upgrading to the Procaster really have its merits for a live streaming environment for spoken word? And also, I just want to say thank you for the show, as well as your microphone review YouTube channel.
Ivan, thank you so much for that voice submission. What a great question. Apriya! What a mad lad. Law of diminishing returns. I think you are really close with the $100 price point. For Dynamics, I think $100 is exactly right, because at that price point, you have the SM58, the SM57, the SE Electronics SE V7, the Sennheiser E835, all amazing microphones that different people like the tone of more. I think those are all great. And if you were to upgrade to a Procaster, you could be getting a benefit. The Procaster has insane background noise rejection. If that is something that is plaguing your live stream for spoken word, it could potentially be an upgrade. But if you're just looking at the tone of the microphones, chances are going from 100 to 200 or 100 to 500, your audience most likely is not going to know the difference or be able to discern the difference. So it really is the law of diminishing returns. It is marginal improvements over $100 on the dynamic microphone side. Then for condenser microphones, I was on the verge of saying $100 is exactly right, but I am sticking with where I was originally going to say. Between $300 and $400 is where the law of diminishing returns really kicks in. The reason I say that, around that price point, you have the SE4400A, which is a wow microphone. Listening to that thing is insane. The Sennheiser MK4, the Rode NT1, the CAD E100S, those are all incredible condenser microphones, and they could very easily be the last microphone you buy, assuming you don't need to switch out microphones a lot. That could very easily be the last microphone you buy, and going above that, it's marginal, very marginal improvements at best. I'm currently using the U87. If I switched to the SE4400A or the CAD E100S, I can guarantee you there would be people saying, that sounds better on you. That sounds better on you. This is just not a good microphone for you. The reason I was thinking about switching to $100 is because of the Neat King Bee. I just did a review of that thing, and it is insane for the price. But that was originally a $350 microphone, and I don't think that other $100 mics are very comparable in quality to it. So I am marking that as an outlier. That is not the new standard for $100 microphones. If you get the Neat King Bee, you're getting a stellar microphone, and you could upgrade to a $300 to $400 microphone, get different character, but it's not going to be a huge jump up from there. But if you jump from an AT2020, which is another $100 microphone, to the 4400A or the CAD E100S, the differences, to my ears, are pretty drastic. I hope that helps. That was a great question. I love talking about this stuff. I guess I should include one last disclaimer. Most of your audience doesn't care as long as your audio is tolerable. I could be using the AT2020 because I have a well-treated room, and most people would not care. I doubt I would get a comment saying, "Oh my god, that microphone sounds so bad!" Ah! And then the person dies? What? I highly doubt I would get an email like that. They would just listen to it. As long as the content is good, they'll listen to it. As long as the audio is not a distraction, they will listen to it. That's my take on it. Thank you so much, Ivan. Thank you so much, Pablo. Thank you so much, Tim the Mic Veil Finder. I appreciate Ricola. I guess that's it for this episode. I have one personal thing. This is just a point of personal pride for me. I listened to Dave Jackson's latest episode of School of Podcasting, which has a bunch of people sharing their favorite shows of 2019. And towards the end, Dave Jackson picked the Bandrew Says podcast as his favorite show of 2019. And that just blew my mind. I am honored that he even listens, let alone selected it as one of his favorite shows or as his favorite show. Dave, that really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much. You are doing amazing work over there. And If y'all want to hear the episode, I wrote an article about it at bandrewscott.com, and I link the show there, or you can just go to schoolofpodcasting.com. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next week, go out there, kick some butt. Happy first week back, full week back of 2020. I hope it's awesome. I will talk to you then, or I will talk to you another time. Goodbye.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.